What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, the Tubi Kang, coming to you once again. And man, we got another blockbuster in the house today, man. I got three of some of the most talented people, writers, directors that y'all going to see, not just on Tubi, but just in doing movies, period. Hey, as I always say, I pray that you have had a great day up until this point and that it continues to be great. If you have not had a great day up to this point, I pray that from this moment forward that your day does get better expediently in my TI vocabulary. So without further ado, I'm gonna let the crew introduce themselves to you one by one. So here y'all go, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so man, I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
Jaleesa Marie, writer, director, producer of Through Sickness and Hell.
I'm Denise Monet. I was the lead actress in Through Sickness and Hell and also a producer.
Daytwan Williams, I was the lead actor as well, and I played Justin in Through Sickness and Hell.
What's up? What's up, man? So thank y'all so much once again for taking y'all's time out of y'all busy schedule, man. Y'all was talking like y'all super busy. So man, I definitely appreciate it even more. Now, I ain't gonna even lie. I think off subject real quick. The first movie I think I saw Daytwan in was The Jealous Son. I was like, hold on one second. I said, hold on, is Ice Cube's son in doing other movies now? I'm like, that looks like Ice Cube's son right there. You know what I'm saying? I said, O'Shea Jackson Jr., the Jealous Son. But so Miss Jalissa, where did Through Sickness and Hell, where did that come from? Was that like just something that you was just like brainstorming about, or from somebody who went through that, or where did that come from?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really know where it came from. I just know, I've been in so many different fields. I have my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I've seen so many different things. And one thing I've kind of noticed the most, and there's like this rhythm of consistently seeing domestic violence movies that have the woman as the one who's being abused, but we often forget that men too follow that path. They just don't report it. They don't talk about it as much, and we don't shed enough light on it. And in writing this, I'm gonna be honest, I did not think that it was gonna be where it's at right now. Here we are, day 36, and it's still most popular drama, thriller. Like, I had no idea. I just wrote it, and when I wrote the script, I gave it to Denise initially, just kind of like feedback, right? I kind of wanted feedback. Oh no, she gave me more than feedback, and I'm so glad it went the way that it went. But
Right.
I really don't know where it came from. As I was writing it, it just came together. And I'm not a writer who follows an outline. I just write what my heart says. And so that's where it ended up.
Okay, so well, that's a good way to segue to my next question. So Denise, when you saw the script and was reading Jada's lines and her character, what were your initial thoughts with that?
So, as she said, she sent me the script because she wanted me to, give feedback and, give my opinion on it. And the first thing I said is, please, can I play Jada? I said, please, can I play Jada? I said, this script is so freaking good. I just want to play Jada. That's all. I just need to play Jada. And so she was like, saying, she's like, Jaleesa has so much confidence in me when it comes to playing roles that she write. And I'm like really, really grateful for her because I told her, I said, girl, you about to put me on the map with this one, baby. Because I just knew, it was a script. Not only was it a script that people like to see, with the thrillers and somebody playing crazy. They just love seeing us be crazy for some reason. But it also had a message behind it that a lot of
Right.
people don't talk about. And so that's what I think, is important because I saw so many posts, so many comments of men coming out saying like this is something that they experienced. And I'm
Wow.
just like, man, I mean, I know that it happens, but when you put out something and then you get feedback from people where they're like, this is what I experienced, and I know somebody that went through this, it hit different. So I was glad to be a part of it.
Right. And we gonna touch on that a little bit later because you had to me an iconic line in that movie, but we gonna talk about that later. So in Daquan went now when you got the script as the one that command, I was fussing at you the entire movie. I was fussing you to the entire end. But so how did you feel when you see the script? Because like they were saying, usually it's on the other end. It's the woman getting abused. But now you're the man getting abused. And not only that, you're in law enforcement, you know what I'm saying, and you're getting abused. So when you saw that script, man, what was your train of thought?
Man, the first time I read the full script, the first thing that went through my mind was my partners, my friends, they about to give me hell for this one. You know, because as I was reading it, I was yelling at myself, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, so it was different for me, but like they said, it really happens. It's a really big message. So I kind of just took it and kind of, you know, really honed in on it. But at first I was like, yeah, this I don't like this. Like I thought it was a great story. I just didn't know if I wanted to, you know, play that role at first because I was like, she beating on me. Like it just didn't register for me, truthfully. But I'm glad that they chose me. And I did audition. So when I auditioned for it, I didn't know the full script at that time. So I didn't know what to expect. But when I got the full script, I was like, what did I get myself into? But, you know, always working with Denise. And then that was the first time I met Jaleesa. So I felt confident in the production team and all the other actors and actresses. And it all worked out. So.
It definitely did, man. Because I don't know about other people, but anytime when you were talking to the TV, you know what I'm saying, you doing something good. When you talking and fussing and saying, man, what is he thinking? And saying, man, she's freaking nuts. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes on,
oh wow, look at me.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, then, you know what I'm saying, everything cool. And then it went from that to I'm like, okay, what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? So we're going through that. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, you have a bruise on, but at this point, we didn't know, you know what I'm saying, where the bruise, you know what I'm saying, was coming from. And your partner, she was, you know what I'm saying, really, you know what I'm saying, concerned about it. But now we start to get to the meat of it when you come home from having drinks. So tell us about this scene right here.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm coming home from a long day of work. I decided to go out and have a couple of drinks with the team. You know, I deserved it. We just had a real big bust, and she had prepared this beautiful meal for just us two, and I didn't come home in time. So I got home, my plate's in the microwave, and as soon as I walk in, I can tell on her face that she's not in the mood, as everybody else can tell. I go straight to the kitchen and I try to, you know, not make too much of it. Get my dinner, sit down, like, hey, baby, thank you for dinner. I appreciate it. And she just wasn't having it. Her biggest thing was, I did all of this for you, and you rather go spend time with them. Why can't you celebrate with me? And in her defense, I mean, hey, you know, I probably would have felt some kind of way about it too. But she kind of took it to the next level. But yeah, in that specific scene, that's all it was. Just I had came home too late, and I told my partner that this would happen, but I still did it anyway.
So now Denise and Jalissa, because if we just look, like she's locked in, you know what I'm saying, in that, you know what I'm saying, in that look. So in this moment right here, Jalissa and Denise, what are y'all trying to get the audience to realize about Jada?
Initially, for this scene, I didn't want them to know that she was unhinged, not just yet, but I did want them to see her angry at the fact that his career came before her. Even though he didn't know that this was what she was going to do for him, this was kind of like a surprise. At the end of the day, there was no communication there. She was expecting him to come home. So I just kind of wanted her to settle into that angry side of her without the audience actually knowing that she really is kind of like in control of the relationship. And if I could just tap to what Daytwan was saying earlier about how, you know, how y'all was saying how like, you a man, you supposed to do something, you got to say something, you know, I didn't want him to do that, because there literally are men out here who love their wives, love their women enough, and they're strong enough in their masculinity that they love someone so hard that walking away is like the easy thing to do versus staying there and trying to figure out what the problem is, even if it looks toxic. You know what I mean? Because in retrospect, that's what women do, right? We stay in these toxic relationships thinking we can fix somebody, not realizing that sometimes letting them go is actually helping them versus keeping them. You know what I mean? And one last point, I'm going to talk about Denise real quick and say this. What you see on that screen, what she did in the film, none of that was shown in the table read rehearsals, none of that. So I didn't get to see the crazy until the camera was rolling. And I was like, yo, this is what she was talking about. Oh my God, keep going. You know, so she really blew my mind because I didn't know what to expect, because she hid all of that until it was time for the camera to roll. And when there was a point where she made me cry in one of the scenes. I literally cried. She honed into that scene so deep. And I was just like, what is she thinking about right now? This girl's really cuckoo for cocoa, but I'll take it. You know, so yeah, but I'm appreciative, man. They did the damn thing. They really did.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we go to, you know, saying that we saw, you know, for the people who haven't seen it, which I don't know why, you know, we saw something, you know, saying physical, you know, saying happen during that moment when she prepared the dinner that Justin was late for or whatever. But then we fast forward a little bit, and then we have the cops getting involved, and it was something that was, I guess you could say, like a small misunderstanding what was going on, and that small misunderstanding somehow led to this. So Denise, Jada, tell us what's going on right here with you, because like you got touched up a little bit.
So obviously my character, she wants the attention from her husband, you know, and he's not giving it to her. And so in her mind, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get the type of attention that I need, even faking bruises, making up stories. And this is obviously things that she believed in her head that she's doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's clearly it was something mentally wrong with Jada. Go out there, baby. Clearly it was something mentally wrong with Jada for her to even think that this was remotely okay. You know, but I had to show him. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. Because you sitting up here, you coming. Go and close the door, son. Go. You sitting up in here coming home late after I done prepared this meal, looking sexy like this. Okay. And then I'm gonna go in there and put this moo on and put this black eye on my face. And I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
Because like I was completely thrown off, because I'm like, hold on, huh? And I was like, man, I know she ain't doing what I think, you know what I'm saying, she just did. And thankfully, you know what I'm saying, for Justin, you know what I'm saying, they gave him a pass, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, but that was just the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of his troubles. But Jaleesa, this wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, cut and dry like your most of your domestic violence films are, whether it's coming from women or it's either being men being abused. It was a backstory to this. And could you tell us about, especially in this scene right here?
Yeah. Little Journey, she's so sweet. So I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, and it could be, you know, it could be different and it could differ for other people. But for me, I feel like, be it man or woman, for you to have those triggers, for you to respond in the way that you have, it's because you've seen something, you've been around something that makes you think it's okay to be like this. And when you go further into the movie, you start realizing the type of mom that Jada has and what Jada's been subjected to. So for her, that's her normality, right? And so that's why we tap into like how when I in the scene where we talk about how it's important for people to have therapy, it's not just for the men, it's for women too, because
Right.
sometimes our traumas from our past go into our adulthood, and then here we are. Now we're taking what we think is normal and we're putting that into our friendships, into our relationships, and now we have this toxic thing about us because that's what we grew up in. So that's how Jada became the person that she was in the film.
Right, because it definitely got, you know what I'm saying, deeper as it was more scenes, you know what I'm saying, about her childhood, you know what I'm saying, that came to roost, so to speak. But then as we were just talking about, first, you know what I'm saying, Jada puts on like she's being abused. But what Justin didn't know is like Jada had some more diabolical stuff going on to where Ada, you know what I'm saying, he had, you know what I'm saying, the chief had to get involved in everything. And right here is when I started really fussing at Justin. Because he's trying to tell him, like, fam, you already in the hole. You better get, you know what I'm saying, on top of it. So they told him, why was Justin character still hell bent? Like he was still hesitant on seeing what Jada was doing, but he still, like, in his mind wanted to protect her.
Because he loved her. I don't know any other way to put it. He loved her. So his whole thing was make excuses for her. You know, he made the decision to marry her when he first married her. It wasn't like this. You know, we all had that honeymoon phase. And, you know, he loved her. He didn't know to what extent that she had gone through in her past, but he knew it was something. And he felt like he could save her. He felt like he could help her, you know, and he felt like he had it under control. And a lot of men, I feel like they get to a point where they feel like that, not even just in relationship, but just with anything, you know, like I got
Right.
it, I can handle it. You know, this ain't too much for me until it's too much. So I would say that's why it took him so long to the point where now he ended up in a wheelchair because he loved her so much that he couldn't see past it. He fell in love with who she was outside of that trauma, and that's all he could see.
Right. And it's like other people saw it. You know, your partner was questioning it. Of course, you know what I'm saying, the chief, he was like, bro, look what she, you know what I'm saying, look what she doing. And then, you know what I'm saying, your sister, you know what I'm saying, caught a whiff of it as she heard an interaction, you know what I'm saying, with you, you know what I'm saying, and Jada, and y'all, you know what I'm saying, get into it then. And I'm like, man, at this point, okay, all right, at some point, he finna wake up, he finna see, you know what I'm saying, what she got going on, to where the police are called again. You know what I'm saying? And then it was at this moment right here when I'm like, okay, he finna finally, you know what I'm saying, be like, okay, I done had enough. This shit gets crazy. I'm finna, you know what I'm saying, get away, you know what I'm saying, or do, you know what I'm saying, something, whatever. But Justin is still, you know what I'm saying, in the mix, loving Jada. Why? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he still was. So Denise, at this point with Jada's character, and you're seeing, you know what I'm saying, the physical abuse. Well, let me ask this: was that was that a real punch, or you know what I'm saying, like because you know, looking at the movie, I'm like, dang, she stuck him for real. So what was going on during that scene when y'all?
It's funny.
So it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because that was not in the script.
Oh
It
wow!
wasn't in the script. And I said, Jaleesa, I said, you know, I'm supposed to be abusing this man. And not one time do you see me put hands on this man. I said, let me do a little 1-2 or something. I was like, we got to show that I'm in here really beating on this man ass. So that wasn't in the script. And we improv that. And I was like, okay, so I'm a jug, and when I hit back, you gotta go in and make it look like I hit you. And
It looks so real.
yeah, it was like a
So
yeah.
it wasn't a hit.
No, I
No.
didn't actually hit
Oh
him.
man, y'all. Y'all did that thing, cause I was like, man, she got him. Boy.
Come on,
My
Tubi
dad
Kang.
asked me that too, though. My dad was like, "Did you hit that boy for real?"
Hey, that wasn't in my script. You wasn't gonna be hitting on me.
You said that, hey,
That
that
wasn't
was
in the contract.
But you know what though? I love them together because they really can feed off of each other. You know, sometimes you
Right.
come across talent who they don't really feed off of each other very well, but them two, their dynamic is, man, you can feel it. You can really feel their energy and their chemistry together. And I just loved, I love working with both of them. Like it just made because that was actually my debut as a director. And it,
Oh,
so
wow.
it made me so much like more at ease because they knew what they were doing. I didn't have to do much. You know what I'm saying? But they
So
really
the memory actually came up today on my Facebook of all the pictures that Daytwan and I took on set and stuff. Like, and I was just like, out of all days, the memories today, you know, back when, you know, we was doing all of this. So it's just crazy how much time has passed. But Daytwan and I have worked together a lot. I actually he's been in quite a few of my films. And so I'm really proud to see where he went from the very first movie he did with me to where he is now. I told him, don't get Hollywood on me, man. You know what I'm saying? Come back home. You know what I'm
Come back
saying? To your
home.
roots where it all started.
You know, like Jaleesa was saying, we have a good chemistry.
Right.
Denise actually was the first person I ever did a movie with. That was my first movie ever, was with Denise. I had hit her up and I was like, hey, I'm an actor. I want to be in a movie. And she was like, well, I got some auditions here, audition. And I guess I did well enough. And then since then, this was Jaleesa's debut as a director. Denise hadn't been acting for I don't know how long. So this was this like your first lead role?
Yeah, this is my first lead. I've acted before in many movies, but I have not played the lead actress. This is my first lead actress role.
And I got to a point where we worked enough to where I know how she works. I know what ticks her, what doesn't, what she likes, and she'll get stuff going in her head, and like she'll be on set and she'll just be blacked out, like just looking in the corner thinking about some shit, and I'm like, oh, she getting that thing going. She thinking of some shit right now. but yeah, no, that's where that comes from. Just working with her and seeing how she works, and you know, and it was great. Jaleesa, she fit right in, and we had a blast. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think what you said is like 36 days in a row. I think if I'm not mistaken, man. So
yes,
the first one, like gee whiz. And counting, yeah. Let put some respect on it. And counting.
And counting. We not stopping.
So we showed the first scene as Jada as a child, but we really didn't go into detail about, you know what I'm saying, what Jada actually saw. So right here, we get a little glimpse into what, you know what I'm saying, Jada, you know what I'm saying, was witnessing, because sometimes we see a film and it's just the man beating on the lady. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he has a drinking problem or got laid off or whatever the case may be. And then that's just where it starts and that's where it ends. But this right here, it's like you put some real seasoning on it to have a backdrop to where maybe this is why Jada is nuts. You know what I'm saying? Why she is. So right here, and any one of y'all can go, what's going on in this scene right here?
So this is when the dad is they're fighting over custody for Jada. The dad knows, so he's in an abusive relationship too, but he's trying to walk away. He's trying to get away from her, but he's not leaving until he takes his daughter with him. So there's this argument going on. They're going back and forth. She disagrees. She ends up killing him. But in the movie, there are a few subtle things that the mother says that Jada repeats, you know, till death do us part. I am Audrey. She has that little chant at the end of the movie where she's like, 1, 2, Jada's coming for you. That comes from her mom. When her mom, after she kills the father, she walks away humming that tune. She doesn't say the words, but she's humming the same tune. So Jada picked up a lot of her mom's attributes in this movie. So But that the abuse that Jada is projecting comes from what she saw with her mom, and she was in the room when her father got killed. So there's, that's how that happens.
Right. So I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to say, okay, it makes sense why Jada is the way she is. I'm still fussing at Justin though. I'm still fussing at him, but I'm like, man, he need to, get away or whatever like that. And it even got to a point where kind of skipped over this to where she thought that Justin was being intimate with his partner, had a wife. So we look at that, and then that kind of plays a part because we look at here. Well, right now Jada being private eye, stalking just as Justin is actually, try to get some help, by going to these to these sessions. But it's like, that didn't do anything. But what threw me off was on this scene right here. And I'm like, okay. She seems normal, like everything is finna be all right. And then just like a Sour Patch Kid, it goes from that to that face again. You know what I'm saying? So what is going on in these scenes right here to where it goes from this to this?
I think it goes back to, like I was saying, that Jada really just wanted her husband's attention. Like when he shows her that attention and that affection, she's okay. Even if you notice in the scene where she's going crazy with the knife and he's like caressing her and saying, baby, and she's like in his arms and just kind of swaying there when he's talking to her nice and sweet. But then he tells her, I think you should go to therapy. It's certain things that trigger her that make her like snap out of like this lovey-dovey state that she really wants to be in with her husband.
Right.
And it's like any little thing when he's not showing her the attention that she feels that she should get from him, it's like everything else goes out the window.
So, with that being said, we skipped over this. It was one point to where I was like, oh, my boy Justin do got some sense because, and Justin, I'm sorry, DeTwan, go over this part right here where, bam, that's what I'm talking about, them divorce papers. So what's going on in this scene right here where they show the divorce papers?
Oh man, this is something that Justin has been premeditating for a while now. And he's thought about it. This isn't the first time he's heard from his family, his friends, that something's not right with this girl. And as he's slowly, going to the sessions and getting some wisdom, and he's starting to feel good, starting to feel like himself again. He's getting the courage to actually give her those papers. He's had them for a while. He's just been hiding them, and now he's kind of getting that courage to give them to her. And by the time I feel like Justin is getting some sense, it's too late. By the time he's getting to a point where he's like, okay, I'm feeling good. This is what I need to do. I can't keep going through this. She's already too far gone. So the divorce papers have always been there. So Justin always thought that this was going to be a possibility and that this may have to happen, but he just couldn't act on it. And then, like I said, he would start going to sessions. He started getting some good words in his ears, and he was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Too late.
And even in that, when I had my hopes up on these divorce papers, Justin, you still let me down, man. You still let me. I'm getting happy, and I'm like, man, he's still letting me down to the very end. And I know we're skipping over some scenes because for the people that's watching, if you haven't seen this movie, Through Sickness and Hell, please go see it. Please, right, not now, right, well, after the interview, then go, go ahead, and see it. I'm telling you, it's going to have you talking to the TV. You're gonna be mad at Justin now, so be ready to be mad at him. You're gonna be like, man, Jada is crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? But make sure that y'all do watch the movie because Jada wasn't only, and I want to leave this open for the people who haven't saw it, but Jada wasn't just abusive to Justin. Like she was like, it was like anybody that tried to come in a way that felt like they was trying to come between her, you know what I'm saying, and Justin. It was like she, you know what I'm saying, like she was on a, you know what I'm saying, a warpath. And right here is when once again I got mad at Justin. I said, bro. I was literally like, bro, I was like, man, I know he is not finna do what I think he finna, you know what I'm saying, do. And lo and behold, you know what I'm saying, he does it. So I'm gonna put this screen up and then this part right here. So what and Denise and Daytona, I want y'all to tell me what was going on in these two scenes, you know what I'm saying, right here to where he's putting down the gun and you have just put down, you know what I'm saying, a knife. So what was going on in this moment, in these two moments right here?
So I want to pick back on what you just said first, real quick.
Okay.
How you know how you getting mad, yelling at the TV and all of that
Mm-hmm.
about what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you know when the actor is doing the job, because so many people hated my character. I even had friends was telling me they should have killed your ass. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, when, like you said, these scenes got you talking to the TV. It's like, why is you putting the gun down? Why are you putting the gun down? This girl is crazy. She done killed all these people. She talking about what she done did to your sister and all of this, and you putting your weapon down. And so Jada is like trying to make it seem like, okay, you put your gun down, I'm gonna put my knife down. We could talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to lure me in, but obviously I'm too far gone because I know too much has happened. We not coming back from this. He done gave me put these divorce papers out. I gotta
Mm,
take him out. If I can't be with you, nobody else can. That's what
mm,
Jada was thinking.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, in this scene, Justin, I feel like I know, he put the gun down. Justin put the gun down because he thought he could do the same thing he been doing. He could sweet talk her. Come on, baby, we can get through this. Come on, baby, and at least get her to calm down to a point where they can at least have a conversation until the police get here. He knows that she does not respond well to aggressiveness. So he's trying to counteract that by, like she said, when we were in the room and I took the knife out of her hand and we was fighting. As soon as I cuddled her up and was holding her and caressing her, she calmed down. She was like a little girl, just laying there in my arms. So Justin was trying to do that. He was trying to get that back out of her because being aggressive with her doesn't do nothing but make her more aggressive. But at this point, like she said, it was too far gone. It was over with. So that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get her back to planet Earth and calm her down.
Man, and we saw, you know what I'm saying, how that turned out. But speaking of that, and I mentioned this earlier, um, to me, like I'm just gonna play it.
Bitch, get her stupid narcissistic ass out of here. One, two, Jada's coming for you. 3, 4, Justin's dead on the floor. 5, 6, I should have emptied the clip.
Oh, shut her ass up!
And then laugh. I was like, so what mode did you have to get in mentally for that part right there? Because it was like you was already nuts throughout the whole film. Nuts like went up like to like hazelnuts, chestnuts, whatever kind of other nuts you want to say. They went up a whole nother level. So where was you at mentally in that part right there?
You want me to be honest?
Yes, please.
I probably shouldn't say this on line, but
You know, you should.
but honestly, I was experiencing some things similar to this in my marriage. I used to be married, and so it was almost, but not where I was, where it was the other way around, because I never experienced domestic violence before. But to have just a glimpse of it, I can only imagine what other women or other men go through, when somebody is being physically and mentally abusive to you. And so I really was thinking like what I would have done in my real marriage had, had I didn't want to go to jail, you know what I'm saying? I kind of tapped in in this movie, I tapped in what I wish I could have done, but I know mentally I can't do that because I'm not trying to get locked up. I got a child, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
I really tapped in and was like, if I pretended like Daytwan was my ex-husband. So
Man, but
Oh,
hey,
Daytwan, the truth come out. The truth coming out.
hey, they
So
showing
I
hey,
was able to tap in, today. My aunt, she hit me up. She was like, when you play roles like these, sometimes you gotta, some decompression and take you maybe you need to talk to somebody because sometimes you can't come out of that mindset. I'm like, I ain't crazy in real life now. I can come out of that. You know what I'm saying? But no, like I really and Jaleesa, she let me have a lot of range with this character. She let me, kind of go a little off the deep end a bit on some of the things. I love when, some stuff is not necessarily written and you kind of just get the flow with your scene partner and then when the director, trusts you enough to pull some of that stuff out. So, yeah. Like like when I was in it, even when they was calling cut, like when I had got shot, like in my mind, I was like that the whole time we shot that scene. I didn't break from that character. I stayed in that moment the whole time because even when other people was just like being silly or talking in between sets, like I stayed in that crazy mindset. My tears was still there. My arm was like I had a sling on, all of that. Like I stayed in that the whole time just because like I didn't want to break that character because
right.
I was already in it.
Right, and we've seen that, and I'm pretty sure it's happened more times than that. But most notably, you've seen where Michael B. Jordan, when he played Killmonger, he said he had to go, what I'm saying, talk to someone after that film. Keith Ledger, unfortunately, he's passed away, but they said that he had to talk to people. As far as what you're talking about, Ray, Jamie Foxx, when he played Ray, he said that he played blind even during when they had lunch he was still moving around like, what I'm saying, he was, he
Yeah.
was dying. So when you're locked in, what I'm saying, you're locked in. To me, that just shows a bunch of dedication. So, but
Mhm.
some people say, oh, you don't take all that, it's doing too much or whatever. Like, no, that's you perfecting your craft. My band director in middle school, he used to say, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So you was, what I'm saying, rolling through your scene, what I'm saying, regardless. Justin, you want to jump in?
Daytwan on you.
Oh, you said Daytwan?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Jaleesa. Yeah, I mean, as far as Denise's character, my character was, as far as my mindset, I had to play a role because, like you said at the beginning, the jealous son. People would comment and say, "Oh, the bully's getting bullied." I kind of switched the whole thing to where it's like, "Oh, I'm a punk now." That's how they were saying it.
Right.
Justin wasn't a punk. Let me put that out there. Justin was in love, and but no, my mindset really was, I love this girl. I can handle this. This isn't. She's not doing too much. I'm okay. That was my mindset to where it allowed me to, not snap, not even necessarily really get mad. There was a couple moments where I would yell and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I felt like Justin was pretty cool headed for most of the movie. So yeah, my role really was just being able to not get triggered by her yelling or not get triggered by, because a lot of the acting is reacting, and most of the
Right.
time when somebody yells at you, you want to yell back,
Right.
So being able to hold that down, or if somebody hits you, you get an instinct to want to hit them back, or whatever the case may be. So really getting into that character, I had to suppress a lot of those emotions and be the person that kind of can take that stuff and turn the other cheek.
Right, man. So, once again, man, I definitely appreciate y'all for taking the time out, man. Y'all didn't have to do it. I know I ain't a huge name out there as of yet, So I thank y'all for taking your time out, man. Because I heard y'all talking back and forth that I know you're filming, you finna start filming. So I know it's a whole bunch of stuff, going on. So thank y'all once again. So and anyone of y'all can go first. Where can people find y'all on social media, and what do y'all have going on in the past, and what do y'all have coming up?
First, let me say this. Let me go back and say this. And I think people, there's a misconception here, right? Because I've what you just said, I've heard other people say that before. You're like the third or fourth podcast that I've been on for this film alone. And I've heard that's kind of like a repeat of, thank you so much. I know I'm a smaller name, this and this and that. One thing is for certain, two things for sure. You are not small to me, or to us for that matter, because we all started here and we're all going to continue to build up. And so I never look at those. When you reached out to us, I thought that was a moment for me. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm glad to do that. You know what I mean? Because no, you're right. Some people kind of look down on that. If you don't have 1,000 and 1 million followers, that you're not big enough to do a podcast with or to sit down with. That is not true. You understand? Like what God gives you and he blesses you with, you will continue to grow from that. And so thank you. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for having us. I really, really appreciate that, because you don't know who's watching your lives, your streams. You don't know who you might be tapping into, and that really might blow you up, blow us up. We just never know. And so when I'm invited, and I'm sure the same would rings for Daytwan and Denise, but we're invited into atmospheres and environments like this. There's no point in saying no, because you just don't know. You don't know who's sitting across the other side. So again, right. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes. And of course, I can be found here on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't do Twitter, but Jaleesa Marie Films on all my platforms. And right now, Denise, she is like a jack of all trades. She's not only my lead in a lot of my movies, but she's also my editor. She edits my movies. So she's working really hard on editing my other movie, Repaid in Blood. And then we go into Blood in the Comments here in in June. And then after that, I have Obsessed Therapy. So I have a few things going on right now. So yeah. And prior to Sickness in Hell, last thing, Denise was my co-writer on the screenplay for Dangerous Thirst. So Denise and I have a history already. And that was my first movie. But if I could be honest, Through Sickness and Hell is really, I want to say, my real first baby, because I had full control. Not only did I have full control, but I was the director, whereas with Dangerous Thirst, things were a little different. So I'm glad to be in the position that I'm in now. But
right. Awesome. Well, we'll keep going. Like I said, 36 days and counting.
36 days and counting. Yeah.
All right, Justin, it's on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to piggyback off of Jaleesa, I appreciate you having us, man. Like she said, these opportunities, I feel honored. So I appreciate that for surely. As far as my social media, it's just my name. Instagram, Daytwan Williams, Facebook, Daytwan Williams, TikTok, Daytwan Williams. I don't have Twitter either. It got a little raunchy on there. As far as like since Through Sickness and Hell in the past, I've picked up a little momentum, man. I've shot some movies in Detroit, Atlanta, that I'm excited for them to come out. And here soon, hopefully I can. I just did an audition today, actually, for a bigger role out in Atlanta. So fingers crossed. And then I'm shooting in June. I'm shooting 2 movies in June. So we're staying busy, man. I haven't been in it too long, but I've gotten to a point where, now I'm at a point where it's like I want to do this full time as a career. So really just learning the game still, getting my feet acclimated underneath me and getting ready to run. So I appreciate it again, bro.
That's what's up. I think we lost Miss Denise for a moment. But and once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is live, so they had no idea I was going to ask them this. So I want to ask y'all something as a collective. Through Sickness and Hell, you said that's like your first baby that you had total, control in it. So I'm gonna ask you this. So say Tyler Perry said, "Hey, Miss Jalissa, I want to taste of this film. Matter of fact, I want to own the film. We're gonna have O'Shea Jackson Jr. as Justin. We're gonna have Keisha Napoleon as Jada, and we're gonna have." And he said he's gonna direct it, but he said, but I want to tweak it a little bit. He said that we're gonna have that Justin character was actually in love with another man, and Jada found out. And then after Jada found out, that's when she started, abusing him. However, Jada wasn't clean herself because Jada was actually having an affair with Justin's partner. And he said, if you let me tweak the film like this, it'll be like you never wrote it. Of course, Daytwan and Denise, they would have never, had they roles in the movie. But I will give you $3 million cash and I will fund your next 2 movies. But it will be like you never wrote Through Sickness and Hell.
Are you asking me what I would do?
Are you taking that deal?
I don't know that I would, because if I could be honest, I really, a lot of things about me that a lot of people don't know is I move by spirit. Right. And so if it don't feel right, I don't care what the money sounds like. If it don't feel right for me, I'm not taking it, because all money is not good money. You understand? Right. And Dangerous Thirst is an example of that. You know what I'm saying? I learned from Dangerous Thirst what I won't do moving forward. I don't care who you are, what you have. To me, we're all God's people. And I don't care if you sit in a $7 million mansion and I'm still in my $300,000 home. I'm still your peer, regardless of the type of money you have, because when you die, I die, we bleed the same blood. You understand? Right. But I learned so much from Dangerous Thirst that money, that offer, and those glorified talks, I have to sit in that. I have to ask God to direct me in that, because I don't want to just say, oh, yes, $3 million and you're going to fund the next few films. Sounds good, but am I selling my soul to the devil? I don't know. And I don't want that. You understand? Right. So I have to sit in that.
Okay, then. Okay, I like that response. I like the response. Yeah. All right, Denise, I know we lost you for a minute, but just tell the people where they can find you on social media and films that you have in the past and things that you have coming up.
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, I've been acting since 2013, and I probably got about 50 projects total. Just from like when I first started acting. So if you search my name, Denise Monet, on Tubi, you'll find a lot of projects that I'm in. And things that I've done that I'm most proud of is my movie Bash. That's based on a true story about my nephew that passed away. And so that's streaming on Tubi right now, as well as films like Rain for Christmas that Daytwan is in as well. The Break of Dawn, Daytwan is in as well.
That was a good
one. And so Kitty Hollow is coming out next on May 27th. So I'm excited about that one. I'm playing another lead role in that one. And I just posted my casting call. We have 2 movies that we're gonna do right after Jaleesa's film in June and July. One is called Shadows of Deceit, and the other one is called Mo City High. And Mo City High, I'm really excited about, because I've been trying to do that one for a minute, because I'm from Mo City. That's about my city that I wrote the story about. So, yes, you can follow me on all platforms. Just search Denise Monet.
And if somebody wants to audition for your roles, how do they do that, guys?
Okay, then.
You said if they miss the audition?
If they want to audition.
Instructions.
Yeah, so go to our website. My casting call is on my website, purpleheartproductions.com. And I always post everything on my Purple Heart Production Instagram page, all my casting calls. Follow the instructions on my website. It's very cut, clean, dry on what you need to do to submit a videotape. But if you dope like Daytwan, if he free, you know what I'm saying, you just call his sister up. If he available, we can just put him in the movie, you know what I'm saying. He ain't even got to audition for me no more.
I like to throw that out there, because a lot of people that watch this, are probably upcoming actors or even writers, producers. So yeah, but You see, come on, Tubi Kang, audition.
No, but I gotta stress this so much. It's important to follow the instructions, because once
Right.
you post it on Instagram or post it on Facebook, there are specifics. You know, most filmmakers, most directors, producers, whatever, they are very specific, and they give a certain order of things that they like and how to do it. And I think a lot of people are so excited and so amped up to want to be in a movie that they read over the important stuff and just go in your inbox and say, hey, here's my reel. It don't work like that.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people just emailing me their information, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have sides and it's instructions on my website. Submit a video audition. People will send me a monologue or something like that. I'm not gonna even watch it because it's like
Right.
you didn't follow my instructions. I don't want to see a monologue. I want to see how you read this character's lines so I can see if you can bring that character to life. So that's very, very important.
Yep.
To make sure you follow the instructions of the casting director.
Yeah, because I've even seen some where it was like simple stuff where it said, DM me, do not leave a comment, do not, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, it's like 58 comments, you know what I'm saying? I just said, DM, do not comment, you know, on this thread. I'm like,
Don't
man.
DM, because a lot of them they try to DM you, asking you questions and stuff like that. I put don't DM me because any questions you have is on my website. I promise you. And
Got
then
you,
when
got
people
you.
say which role should I audition for, read the
You
character
tell me.
description, whichever one you feel that you fit. Like,
Man, and I know, man, Tubi been killing it in Atlanta, Detroit, you know what I'm saying, Texas. A couple people I interviewed that's out in Vegas. Man, hey, if anybody here from New Orleans listening, New Orleans, we need to do something where the Tubi Kang, you know what I'm saying, can audition for something, you know what I'm saying? So, but once again, man, and I want to ask y'all this before I get off, because Krista Hughes just put out a post saying that everybody said, "Oh, I want to be in the movie. I want to be in the movie," and she was saying that like it's just not that easy. You know what I'm saying? To be in the, it's a lot more than just showing up, reading lines, and then going home. Can y'all explain to some of the people who say, "I want to be in the movie. I'll be in the movie." Just explain how rigorous, you know what I'm saying, that can be.
I'm gonna leave that to Denise and Dayton, because I'm just the director, writer, producer, but they are talent and they can definitely.
no, baby, because I gave you your first role of Married Little Baby, so you an actress now
Oh
too,
yeah, how did I
baby.
forget that? Clock that. That's right. That's right. I forgot.
But I will say the best way to get started in acting is starting off by being an extra. We always need extra. That background talent is very, very important. It makes the scene feel like how it needs to feel when we have extra people in a restaurant. You have extra people walking around in a hospital, or you just have people in the background at the park, whatever. So starting
Right.
off being an extra is the best way to get your foot in the door, to meet somebody, to say, hey, I want to get started in this. I've cast so many people that have been like coming, being an extra. I done moved you up on set sometimes. One girl got so excited on my last project because she came to be an extra, and I gave her a couple of lines, and she was so grateful. So you never know
Right.
what opportunity you can get just by starting off that way. And then once you do that, you've met with the director, you've met with other actors and stuff, you see casting calls, and you follow these people, and then you just follow the instructions for the casting call, submit an audition, take acting classes, get some good headshots. Those things are important because you don't want to be submitting yourself with a selfie. When people submit that, I don't even look at it. I'm like, you sending me selfies, or you sending me pictures of you at the club, or pictures of you, what I'm saying, in your car, stuff like that. That's not how you submit an audition. That's not how you submit yourself. Get some good headshots, take some acting classes if you want to take it seriously.
And to just piggyback off of Denise, just being on set is like you said, it's not just getting there and reading lines. I mean, we 12, 14, 16-hour days, and a lot of it is just sitting around waiting,
For your
like,
scene.
hey, for your scene, so you got to be able to stay in character that whole time and you got, it's not for the weak. And then like she was saying, for the background actors, you can come and yes, we background actors are great, but don't stop there, learn while you're on set. Don't just be on set just to be on set. Pick up little cues, ask questions, meet people. And like she said, get better. Get into these classes, because the worst thing you want to do is come to set, be an extra for 50 movies, and you're still the same actor you were the 50th movie ago because you're just thinking being a background actor is going to make you better. No, work at it, learn it, practice it, so it's a lot into it for sure, but it's definitely not for the weak. Like I said, we'd be on set and it'd be some days and some nights and some.
You be hungry because everybody don't feed you twice, two meals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We be hungry on set. They done got spoiled. They done got spoiled over here in Texas.
Lunch. I ain't gonna lie. Denise's set though. I love her set, boy. I be good. Tubi Kang, I'm talking about home cooked breakfast.
Oh shoot, that was
the other sets I be on, they give me little muffins and bananas and shit. I get to Denise set, I say, damn, I got little croissants.
Yeah, they handed out Crustables, huh?
I said, let me not eat too much, I might fall asleep.
I know I'm frozen, y'all, but I ain't want to take myself off and then come back up and mess everything up. So I know I'm frozen, but as long as y'all can hear me, we good, man. So once again, thank y'all so much. You know what I'm saying, for taking time with y'all. Because like I said earlier, folks, they was talking, they was like, man, I gotta shoot here, man. I'm gonna be here, man. I got this coming up here. So they busy. So you know what I'm saying, this is definitely special. So thank y'all once again, man. And if y'all have not seen Through Sickness and Hell, please go see it right now. Y'all can go see that right now. Like I said, you're gonna be fussing at Justin, and you'll be saying, Jada, you know what I'm saying, is nuts. But trust me, it was a great movie, man. And as always, it brought you courtesy of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC, and sponsored by Black Renaissance Clothing Brand. As you see, I got on the Black Love shirt. You know what I'm saying, right now. You go to the website, www.shopblackrenaissance.com, man, and you can get all kind of new gear that they got. That's the shirt I got on right now, that they got on all kind of new gear that they're dropping. Also, man, Black Renaissance has been featured in two Tubi movies, one that was featuring Will Coleman and one that was featuring the actress Alexandra. So if y'all want, you know what I'm saying, some gear, you know what I'm saying, we can get it to you, you know what I'm saying, to be in the film. That y'all check that out. And also put in promo code LLC20, you'll get 20% off your entire purchase. And I see on your shirt over there, Miss Denise, we got more stuff in stock, but it's some of the HBCU gear that we have. We big on repping the HBCUs, from Grambling to Jackson State to Southern to Alabama State, the FAMU to all of that, man. So make sure that y'all check that out. And as I always say, this is Tubi Kang approved. It's no more Netflix and chill. It's Tubi and real. We finna run that back, y'all. All right. Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Of course, it's Tubi Kang approved. No more Netflix and chill.
It's Tubi and drill.
All right, thank y'all so much. Until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all get off and holler at y'all.
Man, put me in a movie. Dang.